Here's what's interesting. If you look at CBDCs, they'll be issued by the Fed, the New York Fed, right? Owned by the New York Fed member banks.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at how the stablecoin legislation works, the stablecoins will be issued by the banks that own the New York Fed.
Yep.
Directly without the New York Fed, but they can coordinate through the New York Fed, right?
Yep. Of course.
And it's kind of like meet the new boss, same as the old boss. And so many people are telling me, oh, well, Trump's wonderful. He's canceled CBDC. I was like, no. Now they get to do it privately without congressional oversight or obligations to Congress under the law, the way the New York Fed has obligations.
And here's another possibility. We've been tossing around in these wrap-ups the idea of the emergence of regional reserve currencies. And stablecoin, from what I understand about it, is quote unquote, and this is the meme that they're pushing, is quote unquote tied to the dollar.
It is.
Okay.
Right.
So you have a crypto that is the value of which is supposedly tied to the dollar. It sounds to me like what they're trying to erect is a digital version of the old snake system, where you had the Dutch guilder and the Danish kroner and the Austrian schilling all tied to the German Deutschmark and pegged to value fluctuations vis-a-vis the Deutschmark. And if they fell outside those valuations, the Bundesbank would come in and stabilize the exchange rates. It sounds to me like what they're doing is they're putting in a digital version of that system vis-a-vis the Canadian dollar, the Mexican peso, and so on, for a regional digital currency system. That's what it sounds like to me, that they can easily roll over.
What they want to do, the stable coin is the equivalent of the pallets of cash that went to Iraq.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have countries all over the world with weaker currencies than the dollar. Right? What you're going to do through the mobile phones, through the payment systems, Google Pay, Apple Pay, all these things, but all through the mobile pay, is you're going to try and get every one of those people all over the world to start using the dollar by using stable coins.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
And what you're looking to do is essentially, from a currency standpoint, do a hostile takeover of the entire, it's a tender for the entire global population.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now,
yeah, that makes sense.
It's not going to work in countries that have the technological prowess to stop it. So it's not going to work in China. It's not going to work in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
But there are many countries around the world where it will work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And so what you're looking to do is extend the life of the dollar.
Well, yeah. You're coming to exactly the same position that I was trying to suggest with the old snake system. Is
right.
I don't see Mexico or Canada as having the technological ability to stop it. So yeah, you can, and probably a lot of Latin American countries, maybe with the exception of Argentina, that have a technological infrastructure that is not up to the challenge. So yeah, I can see that. It's much more than just a regional system then.
If you want to securitize all the U.S. land, if you want to sell it, what you do is you use the Bitcoin pump as the down payment, but you do NACS. Yep. You do NACS and you pull it off in NACS. And so, Howard Lutkin and his family can end up owning Idaho.
Yeah, they can end up owning Idaho, and you get computer screens full of blips.
Right. Right.
You will own nothing and be happy. Well, it's sounding like we're going to be owning nothing, but we're not going to be so happy about it. That's the problem.
This is not my plan.
This is not my plan either.
I'm not going along with this. One of our team said to me, you've been talking for years about the control files. And I've listened to you for years and I know they exist, but it wasn't until he was watching something like the Kennedy confirmation, but it wasn't the Kennedy. And I finally realized, oh, they all have control files. This is real.